Today, I want to talk about some money management stuff. So, I want to talk about living below your means. I think that with our society today and all the social media out there and everything like that, everybody wants to have some sort of flashy lifestyle now. And as you're still looking at making it big, then you don't want to have that now. You want to live below your means. I want to say a little bit about what I did regarding money management in my 20s in order to get to a very different position in my 30s. I just, when not a lot of money was coming in and I was building my business and I was getting it off the ground, and it took years in order to do so. You live like a broke college student. And every single successful person has that story. So if you were to, look at like Mark Cuban's story or Gary Vaynerchuk's story or any of the sharks on Shark Tank, Daymond John, right? Like they all talk about how they lived with nothing for years. So when I was in my 20s and I was building my business, I wasn't stopping and getting coffee anywhere. I wouldn't spend the $2 because I knew that I didn't have the $2 to spend on coffee. It had to go either towards the business or towards bills. I didn't have furniture in my apartment. I had a futon that I had found literally that somebody was throwing out that I slept on, and no other furniture. I was eating ramen noodles on a regular basis. And I think that again, especially with everything that we see today, on our phones and we see so much instant gratification. We can get things right away. It's such a competition on what people have. And I think that people lose sight of anybody who's successful has this type of story where they live below their means. And so, I see people that I mentor today, maybe not have the best money management and they're not where they want to be financially yet, right? And that's why they're still on that path. They're still, building what they need to develop. And ultimately at the end of the day, I see how much they spend money on, stuff that I never spent money on in my 20s. I didn't buy new clothes. I bought new clothes for the first time in my 30s. I bought, I went out to eat, literally, started to in my 30s. I could afford or finally, felt like I could afford a Starbucks or even a Dunkin' Donuts coffee in my 30s. And again, the path of everyone who's successful. But when we're in our 20s, it's we just either feel so sorry for ourselves that we don't have all these things that we might see on Instagram right now. Or, we just think that it's wrong to live like a college student for another 10 years outside of school. Guess what? That's the path. Living below your means. And I know so many successful people today that have money that still live below their means, even though they live quite well because they have money. They just understand money management. So it's not about what you have today. And I think it's really important that if you're a money motivated person, even if you're not, but everybody is to a certain extent. And if you're a money motivated person, to not let that motivation be the reason why you can't get to where you want to go. Because if you're investing time and effort and energy into building a business, it's not going to be financially where you want to be for at least a couple of years. And if you can't handle that for, a couple of years, then it seems so crazy for that to be the reason why somebody would quit and not follow their dreams. Because they need to have more money now, because today, when they're 22 or 25 or 26, they have to be able to go out to dinner on Friday night. They have to be able to buy drinks at the bar on Saturday. They have to be able to, buy themselves new clothes every now and again. Look, successful people, like they all have the stories of like for a long period of time they didn't do those things. And so I think that if you're in that position right now and you're feeling sorry for yourself, I think you need to get over yourself, and I think you need to realize that that's the path of every single successful person, and they didn't feel sorry for themselves in the meantime. They knew that it was the right money management skills so that they could continue to build and develop and invest in their business, and that then things would change when they catch certain types of breaks and have certain types of income and their business is on a different type of level. I just think that that's so prevalent. I see that so much today, and more so than 10 years ago. And it's like you just got to fight like that urge to want everything right now and have that be the reason why you can't get yourself in a position that's completely different 10 years later. Well, that's my thoughts for today. Everybody have a great night.